Yeah, it does that, but it's rare.
Okay, well, this is mostly for the VOD because I don't think any of y'all are tuning in quite yet. We'll do.
I mean, hoping people will show up. It'll be nice.
Yeah, if not, this is also this is actually a new thing we're doing. That's more of like a podcast type, video type. So it's mostly also not just for the stream, but we'll have this YouTube VOD up. So if you guys tune in here or you're seeing this channel, you probably know who I am. But I'm uwucos.
And then well, I'm assuming you know who I am.
Yeah, his name is the channel you're on.
I'm kind of everywhere. I am at Bigpapachunk. And yes, I do like it when you call me Big Papa.
And this is the guy who runs all these. And this new idea we have, basically our tournaments here, we switched to being every other night. So we are always here every Friday, every other Friday night rather.
Right.
So we're here every Friday. But the new thing is that on nights like these where we're not running a stream or for a typical tournament, we're going to do sort of tutorial type things. Granted, I'm not a huge SoulCalibur expert, but I wanted to make maybe some more beginner-focused stuff. So for this one,
which works great for me.
Yeah, and then Ben is not only learning to be the streamer and all that stuff here, but he's learning SoulCalibur.
Yeah, I picked this game up like a month after launch, like back in January.
No, that's like 2 months, 3 months. It came out in October, bro.
Oh, so, okay. See, that's how little I know about this game.
No,
I
it's fine.
When it came out.
It's fine. So yeah, so this is gonna be like maybe me explaining a little bit of stuff to Ben, to Bigpapachunk. So let's see here. I'm gonna flip us over. Are we good here? Can I just hit the button?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and y'all bear with us. So we're doing some new shit. So. We'll reference this a little bit, but tonight what I wanted to talk about a little bit are these matches from our friend Vinson, LP Vinson down in SoCal. I think he's really underrated, and I'm probably maybe a little biased because we both play the same character, and he is my friend. But I think he's a really good player down in SoCal, and this night I think showed it. So we're going to look at his matches from Wednesday night fights in Orange County last week on the spring season finale. In particular, he won a game against Kayane, a very good big name, and she was in town for that.
What's her sponsor? Orange?
Orange-san.
Orange, that's right.
She's orange, yes.
That's right.
I don't know if you remember the memes from Evo Japan. And then, and he also beat Blue God, who's, of course, a great player from SoCal. Blue God went on to win the tournament. He did beat Vinson again in a run back, I think, in losers finals. But, yeah, so we're going to take a look at that. These are really good. I think both of us were watching it live. I thought it would be a good thing to kind of hop back into for basically to start this segment. I think it's something. I think there are good matches worth revisiting. Yeah. And I'm not going to try to do anything huge analysis. Of course, we're not saying that we're better than these players or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to take a deeper dive into.
Give me 1 sec. I just realized something. You can keep talking for a second.
Yeah.
I realized.
Oh, we're going to check Nightbot from
I think he's still running.
It's fine if it's running, but yeah. So we're going to take a look into these matches. Yeah, and let me see. Well, you kind of got that set up.
Okay, that's all I needed to do. He's
Yeah, and how do I advance the slides to do?
Oh, hold up. So I gotta switch back to it.
Yeah.
And then you can just do spacebar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about maybe the context of the match a little bit. So this was a big Wednesday night fights. It was the season finale, so the prize pools were big. The venue was packed. I mean, SoCal Wednesday night fights is usually their venue compared to ours here. Look at how much space we have. It's pretty crazy. It's a little poppin'.
Well, I mean, we're here on Fridays, and usually, like, the actual Wednesday nights here at ESA
it is busy.
Oakland, I mean, this is all packed. Granted, that's all,
but
like, Smash and Tekken.
We definitely have more space. But in any case, it was a big night.
Because it was the grand finals. E3 was also that weekend, so I think there was probably some extra. Well, we know there were extra people in town for that, which we'll.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why Kayane was there. She didn't fly out to SoCal for this tourney.
No, she was
there for
down
E3.
for E3. Same with Party Wolf.
Yeah, so we'll hear his commentary a little bit. We're not going to get to look at any of his matches, but yeah, Party Wolf was there too. So,
but if you do want to see his matches, I think they are on the VOD on.
Conmai.
This was all. Yeah, and this is all. This is all from Conmai's. He streams the Wednesday night fights. I can. I'll link his Twitch later when I upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can all see it.
It's just twitch.tv/Conmai. But yeah, so that was the big night, and I think I mentioned already that Vinson got 3rd place there, and of course he plays Grøh, and we're going to talk a lot about Grøh as a character, maybe in the matchups he has a little bit. it became especially timely that this was our topic because, as some of you may know, this past Wednesday there's NLBC, which is a big local in New York, and then Wednesday Night Fights, so the week after the one we're looking at. And both of those were won by Linkors and Blue God playing Grøh. So
who's not like typically their main character.
No, not at all. So yeah, they played them in the past, but
nothing like super heavy and serious.
Yeah, but Link picked Grøh because he was feeling bored with his mains, and then Blue God's like, I'll do it too because they both played it.
Link was sounding really angry with both his mains.
Yeah,
he just sounds not happy.
Yeah, so you know, it's fair. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to take a look a little bit about the character, and something worth noting. I think this even came up in the chat when we were watching, is a lot of people think of Grøh as this like stupid online Unga character. Maybe with good reason, because you do find those Grøhs. Like when I play ranked,
I thought that was every character in ranked.
Yeah, but especially Grøh, it's kind of unfortunate, but especially when the game came out too, you just see a lot of them where they just want to get in your face. They're always mashing an Avenger. They're always, and I think you'll notice in these matches from Vinson and in general at a high level, that's really not the way the character usually plays out.
Right.
If you know what you're doing, obviously if someone's not blocking low or like not respecting your plus frames in Avenger, you can just destroy them and attack constantly. But and that might be what the ranked Grøhs are looking for. But at a high level, it's a lot more, I guess, almost defensive, more passive play. And something I wanted to note too is he has a lot of really good guard pressure. So I think that's part of why Link likes the character. Is Link thinks that this is still like a guard break meta. And when it comes to that, Grøh is very good at it because he has a lot of good break attacks and a lot of plus frames to kind of press it at his advantage. And I'm just going to... So, yeah. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, too, that was kind of funny is that they talk about defending SoCal from the invaders at this tournament.
Oh.
and Kayane actually hung out and played casuals with the guys and apparently destroyed, like, all the SoCal players. I don't know if Vinson was there that night, but like apparently she went nuts.
Yeah, it was, all down at SoCal Banes.
Yeah, shout out to Banes who hosts the house casuals there. Yeah, they played till like 3 in the morning and
everything.
Yeah, she just like annihilated all of them. So
until like was it Ben showed up?
Yeah, I think that she played it close set with Ben.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. So that was just something maybe a little bit. So coming into the tournament, you know, obviously you want the SoCal guys to win against the visitors. But yeah, so. I think we can bump on slide.
All right.
Yeah, so in particular, so Kayane, I think, is basically a 2B main lately. I don't know how often she switches characters, but in both games, or in the whole sets against Vinson, she played 2B. This matchup, both of the characters, I think, key to their offense is using the stances. So Grøh has his Avenger stance, 2B has... technically 3 stances, but it's like aggression shift, essentially. Yeah. And so it's more about how much can they get away with out of the stance, how much pressure can they get. And then both these characters, I think, have really strong soul charges, especially the stances get powered up, right?
Yeah.
Like Grøh soul charge, ton of damage.
Lots of movement.
Yeah, and then same thing with 2B. Her soul charge is insane. Like if you're facing like a soul charge aggression shift 2B, it's scary. It's real scary. Even if you're on the ground, doesn't matter what you're doing, it's scary. So I think that's kind of how that plays out. I think that maybe the difference then, the key difference is that 2B can fight at such longer ranges, but I would say up close, what they sometimes call playing like small caliber, where you're like AABing, she really is going to lose to Grøh in that type of bit. We see a bit of both, I think, in this match. And we want to maybe hop over to the game real quick after we do this. We're going to look at some key moves. I think we're going to do that before each game, is kind of take a look at, you know, if you maybe not familiar with the characters, this will help you know what to look for. And we'll talk a little bit just a little bit about the frame data, the details on these moves. So we can flip over to the game real quick and pull up practice mode.
Oh, and go into the...
Yeah.
I think we're still set up from our test, so we'll have to...
Yeah, so go to character select.
We'll go back to character select real quick.
We'll pick Grøh and 2B, and we'll take a look at these.
All right. I can kind of hear the sound in the background. All right. So are you...
Doesn't matter. Pick one. I'll pick the other.
Okay, I'll just... Oh, wait, no. We're doing 2B. Derp.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to look at 5 moves in total. Yeah. Cool, cool. And you guys filter in here. Feel free to chime in. Controller.
There we go.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
the first one is 6BV6, so you can do that, Ben. 6BV6. Yeah, so this is something that it's one of her best into transitions into aggression shift. If you do that real quick, do it again, and then do A. It clashes, so that means that even on block, it's pretty safe, right? It clashes with an I-12. So the frames on that are very good. If you do it, can you go behind me and do it to his back?
Like from about there?
Yeah, try that.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
We're doing this live.
Hold on a bit.
The risk of going, you just DC, dude. Who cares?
Oops.
Just quit out.
I meant to do that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was
Unless you want to destroy this kid on stream right quick.
Jeez. I mean...
Yeah, just close the game. It's fine.
Okay, technical difficulties. Be back momentarily. I think I'll have to reboot Scuffle.
Yeah. I hate when that happens. You know, that's happened to me before.
I know. I feel like that's like anytime we're on stream or like we're like doing casuals, like someone's like, oh shit. But
yeah, that's weird. I don't need. Oh, you know what? When you switch to controller mode, you might accidentally flip.
Yeah,
it.
I think I hit a button. I don't think I left it on, but yeah. As much as cool as I like that feature, it gets it gets you every now and again.
It's frustrating. And you know what? I feel like sometimes the queue is longer if I'm in practice mode. Maybe that's just mentally.
Maybe.
In any case,
I don't know. I just like it because I can just keep practicing my TASBs.
That's a good idea. So yeah, what were we saying? 6BB6. Sorry to whoever just got disconnected on. It happens. 6BB6. So you'll see that Kayane definitely uses it a lot, and I think in general it is one of her better transitions. Almost, I want to mention it. It used to be actually that you could GI the second hit, like it did in jail, but now you can't. So now it's like it's really good on block. You kind of have to hold it. Yeah. So I think technically if she transitions, it's like +2 on block, and that's why she'll clash with the I-12. And what I was going to show, maybe you can do it real quick. We got to go to controller mode. It'll lethal hit on the back. I didn't even see the logo. Yeah, no, that's not the back. Oops. You got to go right behind. Still not the back. Like right behind.
Gosh.
It's not a big deal, I guess. You went the... Yeah. There. Go try it right there. Yeah. So that's... It's pretty good. I don't even know if that lethal hit really... I don't think it really comes into play in here. The other thing she has that we'll talk about is the aggression shift A+B. So you do aggression shift A+B and hold it. And it's this bubble.
Or the hold charges it, right? You want to stand up?
Yeah. Oh, your scuffle didn't come back up. By the way.
Oh, I forgot to turn it back on.
Yeah.
More technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to get too much into the frame data here because we're supposed to just be kind of surface. But how are we doing on time? How long have we been live for? 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna be. It's gonna take probably.
So aggression shift A+B hold.
Yeah. Yeah. So the held version is safe. It's -8, and she gets a big combo off this. A lot of times this is really good. If she whiffs a button, she can go transition into this. Into the stance, into the bubble to make it safe. So you'll see this move a lot. If you do it without holding,
oh, no, not that one.
It's actually -16. I was late to punish it. But really, you don't see the non-held version that much for that reason. I think you'll hear in the commentary that Blue God talks about it a little bit. I think the main difference to tell is the duration. So yeah, and then can you turn on my soul charge to stay on? I'll show a couple moves.
Yes.
From Grøh. Yeah, so that's just something you'll see. It's just it's basically like a launcher. It's a very unique tool that she has. And then I'm gonna show you real quick that in soul charge, Grøh gets this 2 A+B. He has his out of soul charge, but it's a little slower. And this is a really good tool for him to get in, right? Like obviously he wants to get in close to use his usual buttons, and it's a low, it tracks, and it's of course +4 or plus on block. It's a break attack, +4 on block. So this is a pretty good one. The best way to deal with it is to jump, to do some sort of jump attack. Yeah, exactly. So you'll notice in this match, Vinson just gets away with this a lot. And so even though he recovers crouching, which is not ideal, he still gets to basically run a bit of a mix-up here. If you get mashy on this, you know, it's +4, so he can do all kinds of stuff, 2A while rising K to beat you. The other big one, and if you guys talk, you know, when you talk about the mashy online Grøhs, you know this move, Guilt Seeker. That's Soul Charge 1AK. And it just does a lot. It's a low. It's I-26, so it's seeable, but difficult to see. It does a lot of damage. And in fact, actually, all of his, if you want to just stop blocking, all of his other little stance options like this do similar damage in Soul Charge. It's just this is scariest because it's a low, and it's not a. Usually, he doesn't have much low threat.
It's got the attack animation.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It doesn't. It just adds an extra depth to him. Normally, I think fighting Grøh, you're not too worried about his lows. Regular 1A, and we'll talk about this maybe in the next match, 1K, really not that scary. And then the last one we'll look at is 6/6A+B. This is like a big whiff punisher for him. It's very unsafe on block at -16. But he can also use it out of like 3/3 and 9/9, so diagonally you can kind of step a bit out of something and do this. And this is one of, he doesn't have too many very unsafe on block moves, but this is one of them. And you see Vinson using this a lot, especially because 2B is a character where when she whiffs, she'll start flying across the screen, so you really want to chase after her with a good whiff punisher, and Grøh has it in that. So yeah, I'm going to cut back to the PowerPoint. Those are the kind of moves of the match we'll look at. And I'd say the key factors in this matchup was you really see the difficulty of fighting Grøh with vertical attacks. He has not only a really good step out of his Avenger stance, but a lot of just tech step on his attacks in general. So you really have to be careful. If you do a lot of verticals, he's probably going to crush a lot of them. And then dealing with the 2B aggression stance pressure, I think that ultimately Vinson does a really good job of that, and that was key in this matchup. He knows when to step against it, and then a lot of reversal edge. That's something you hear a lot. Oh, 2B's weak to RE. I don't think it's necessarily that true, but she doesn't have a lot of break attacks. So, for example, you never really want to go into RE against Avenger stance because he has the huge lethal hit and the break attack. She doesn't have that kind of threat, but she can still beat it with other things. So I think those were, you know, the fact that Vinson knew when to RE and got away with it a lot was a big part of why he won in this match too. So, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll flip back to the VOD. And so we're just going to play the VOD, maybe talk over it a little bit, pause it here and there. I have maybe some observations, and we'll get to it.
All right. So this is off of Kalmai's stream from the Wednesday Night Fights. You can kind of, well,
see.
we're behind their faces are like right sort of over here.
Yeah.
But that's
cramped
not
in there in this spot. So
right. So we're just gonna play it. We're gonna now it's gonna stop and pause it sort of at will when we need it. But yeah, Kana is the 2B on the left. Vinson is the Grøh on the right. You should see the names pop up on the side as usual, and let's get to it.
Okay, this is okay.
Yeah, and this is exciting. You're even like, the commentators were excited, like, oh, this is a big deal that Vinson gets to play someone, you know. He played NCR, but he hasn't fought like international players or other as many big names at tournaments.
Hey, what's going on, Proxy?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, so it starts off, this back throw does a lot of damage. The throws out of aggression shift are really good.
Yeah. And then you see again, 2B just can hang in the air for so long.
Yeah, so she gets to throw that attack, but this is a really good whiff punish there. He beats the B+K, he gets in. And there it is, there's the 6BB, the first one maybe. And in that case, he tries to whiff punish it with 6A+B, but it whiffs. It's tricky. You hear Blue God say, oh, she's really hard to whiff punish, and it's true. It's almost very matchup specific. There we see 6BB6 track a little bit. Fox says, appreciate you making this content, neat idea. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're excited to bring some new stuff in. We got the stream gear, so might as well make use.
Yeah, feel free to, ask as many questions in chat if you want. We'll try and keep an eye on it.
Yeah. All right, and that round, that was a heartbreaker.
Oh, it's not. Sorry.
Ooh.
No, it should be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you just got to click on it.
Okay, yeah. So that one it really came down to the wire. You see that he twitch ducked under her throw, which was a good option, but I think because it was a twitch duck, he didn't commit to ducking. He didn't do a punish. So she got to take her turn again, essentially, and then he didn't really, you know.
You see me, we play casuals all the time, and he's seen me do that thousands of times.
You
Where
can
I'll-
twitch duck
I
and
can
forget
twitch duck,
to-
and then it's like all of a sudden like, oh wow, that worked, and then
Yeah,
split second's gone, and
it's
it turns
hard.
back.
Yeah, so that was still a really close round. Yeah, and you get to see the 6BB6, I think, already at play. She's trying to establish that that's going to be her main tool to get in this stance.
Yeah.
So we'll keep going. Talk about the break attack pressure. We're seeing it again here. Vincent starts off.
Yeah. Especially because his guard gauge is already so low. So
He's not afraid to reversal edge because his guard gauge is already low.
Get the clash.
And then breaks her guard. And gets like a minimal combo. Not bad.
It's a good chunk, about a quarter.
Yeah. That is the optimal combo there. But then we'll see going back the other way that kind of gets a huge, because she's in soul charge, she gets a ridiculous like 50% guard break combo.
Even with all the scaling.
Yeah, no, that was...
He walks around that whole move.
Yeah, but notice there again, he stepped out of the 6BB6, gets the back throw to close it out. Yeah, and Blue God saying you need to be careful using verticals against Avenger, because that Avenger step is just immune to verticals. If he try to challenge the stance, then he can step.
So you see him using the 2A+B to
yeah.
get in?
And goes into 1AK, and immediately Blue God counts out like, oh, she didn't react to it. So it does so much damage. But actually, even though he has such a huge life lead, we're going to a reversal edge here. She's already gaining a lot of points. You get 3 points for that jump K, another jump K, tech catch 1K, and lands this big, just out of nowhere, gets a crazy comeback off this analysis points. So if you're not familiar, right,
that's her gimmick.
Yeah, that's one of her mechanics, is that if she has 9 analysis points, certain moves give it, she gets a special lethal hit. And so out of nowhere, she builds up the points. I think she just goes all in, right? She does 2 jump Ks. They work.
Yes, that's
Vincent
6.
whiffs a couple. Yeah, and then she gets 1 Ks after, so that's 2 more. And Vincent whiffs a couple GIs and just immediately loses off that. You hear also Conmai note that she gets... If you guys don't know, when she's low on health, she gets that ridiculous CE. It's like 6 CEs the input, and she like blows herself up, and it's very dramatic. And she chooses not to use it. It's very rare that you see that where it's only off that lethal hit that or in certain guard breaks that she can combo into it because it's like I-45 or something ridiculous.
Oh,
but she
right.
Kayane has the opportunity to use it there and actually just elects to just do a normal combo and still wins the round. So that's interesting. You know, she could have won it with a dramatic CE, maybe style on him a little bit, but she just saved her meter.
Maybe that's not her style.
Yeah, yeah, that's what actually. So you'll hear Conmai say like, "Oh, French style is just to be confident that you'll win the round." So a crazy comeback there. And Vinson just has to run up and soul charge to try and get back in it.
Got a good break from there.
Gets clipped from that.
Ooh, catches her.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of a weird track. You notice she stepped a little bit.
Yeah.
And then somehow the B still hit her. I think maybe the step was too early.
Activating his soul charge again to keep the pressure on because he knows she's in soul charge, so he doesn't want to let her do anything.
Yeah, we get this weird portion where they're like fighting along the edge. Ooh. And that's a good step on the RE. Not too much punish. But honestly, you kind of have to commit to it. Like sometimes she's going to beat it. And again, this is another round. You saw what she did at the end. She did 6BB6 and he stepped it. It's another round that kind of ended that way.
Wait, watch. Let's rewind that.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Yeah, we can watch this maybe the round again.
It's hard. It's the whole.
It's an unfortunate. Yeah, on Twitch VODs it can be hard.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But there's also the one thing is she does the 6A+B and he like almost twitch ducks into it, but stands up just in time to block it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention though that the bubble is actually, if you're talking about the big bubble, this is actually special mid, so you can duck.
Oh, you can still duck it. Oh,
yeah. But
I did not know that.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. But
so here it comes. Or
yeah, so here's where they are, where they're like running along the edge here. Like you notice 4B has a tech step, he does it here, and it just doesn't tech step because he's at the edge. They do a little 2D fight along the edge here. That's key. She doesn't block, punish the 668+B. That's something I've heard to mention earlier. But yeah, even Blue God's like, oh, that's not safe. I don't know if she knows that. And there, she went for another one, and he committed to this step. Proxy saying I have trouble with Avenger stance. Yeah, it's tricky. You kind of have to know. Maybe that's something we can break down further later. But yeah, if you don't treat it properly, I say, like if you don't know how to when you should be attacking, when you should be respecting it, things like that, and he gets to run his gambit, the damage potential is huge there. Like all of the strings, like you see when he does the big low out of it, it's crazy. And yeah, it's Soul Charge Avenger, especially, you really have to guess.
But I mean, it's like a lot of sense on a lot of characters. Just if you just don't know what their options are, what you should do, and how you're going to approach to it, you can just get eaten up by it.
Yeah. Let me see here. Again, both of them in the red guard. Yeah, and they're noting again that she gets hit by the low. That's reactable, but it's hard in the heat of it. And if you're committing to ducking in the stance, of course, he has so many mids. Yeah, cool. And so he takes the first game. Let's switch over. How do I just go? Yeah.
Do you want to?
No, that's good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we maybe look at some of the key moments from the rounds. I didn't get to call it out as we just finished, but the round 5, we'll start there. He did the Steed of the Night kick, which is the teleport kick. That's only -2, so he did 2A after he counter hit. So that's something that'll come up again later. It is a nice frame trap because it's such a big, flashy attack. You don't think it's -2, or like you probably would think you'd take your turn safely, but it is only -2. The main weakness to it is that it's linear.
Oh.
So yeah, we see a little bit of that. Round 4, he was able to, Counter was able to step Vinson's RE attempt. Didn't work out. Didn't get too much punish. I think she got like a 2-2B. Round 3 was that big comeback. Round 2, we had a couple guard breaks. And then round 1, I thought it was noteworthy. He tried a whiff punisher with 6-6A+B. It just went off course. So, Proxy says, "Nice slide, you boys are prepared."
This fool, that's this fool's game.
Yeah.
SoCal's Dr. Signia, we're slowly building up.
Oh my
Dr.
God!
Uwucos.
I need to become the master of frames in space.
Well, that's why we're hanging out with Pluto.
So yeah. Yeah, so that's that one. I think we can go on, and let's go ahead and watch game 2. All right, as I switch this over here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that was very close. I didn't say it, but thanks, Roxy. Proxy does a great job. Yeah. Yeah, they talk a little bit about how Vinson. I didn't mention this at the start of the segment, but Vinson is pretty new to competitive fighting games too. He played 5 a little bit, but as Conway's explaining, he showed up for Bane's casuals one day, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm new, I'm Vinson." He just like annihilated everyone. They're like, "Who is this kid?" So, and then he came when they brought him to tournament in California. Bane's like, "This is our secret guy." Like, yeah, he's really good. You notice 6BB6, she did nothing. Both of them blocked.
Also, just yeah,
sorry. I know it's tricky.
What was?
Oh, we got a Twitch ad. All right, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say
okay.
while we get the?
We're gonna go back to that while this thing Twitch ad is going. I was gonna say, no, we do get a stage change too, which I think, I mean, slightly significant because I mean the last stage there was no ring outs.
Yeah.
This one,
both characters don't really have much ring out game, but I think maybe sometimes 2B wants the space to work with because she has such long attacks.
Yeah, at least you get that. There's a little bit more space to work with on the rectangular side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Okay, now going back into it. Sorry, we're doing this live, so.
Yeah, it'll happen. Again, goes for it. This time she baits the RE. But that one I think was almost an input error. She didn't finish the 4B string, and so she again doesn't get a huge punish. Vinson's able to take the round after. And something I think maybe I didn't get to call it out as it happened, but she went for a big 4-4B setup. That's when she backs away and throws the spear at you. And Vinson was so ready for it. She took plus frames and backed up to try and do that. And Vinson stepped and did a big punish. It is tricky. Like, it's something I see a lot of 2Bs of all levels will go for, is if they're not sure, they'll go for 4-4B, because even if you block it, she gets a good transition, and it's super long range.
Right.
I didn't put it as a key move because I think this is one of the couple times she goes for it, just because Vinson is in her face most of the match. But like, you can whiff punish Mina's 6-8 with that move. It has so much range.
Jeez.
So she went for a little setup there, and Vinson, I think, read it.
When do you normally punish Avenger stance? I mean, it depends on the move.
When do you normally punish Avenger after single B? That's a good question. So the main time, maybe we can show it a little bit later. So the 2 transitions in the Avenger stance that are safe on block are 4A. That's the slow, kind of like twists and does a slow horizontal. And then the A+B, which is, of course, the break attack. So those are his 2 plus on block transitions. If you try to interrupt those, you will lose to Avenger BB. So those are the main. You have to respect those a little more. And the same thing if he gets transitions on hit. So 6BB on hit, 6B plus K. A lot of his attacks, if it's on hit, it's always going to be his frame advantage. So I would say that if you block another transition, like you'll see 6B plus K, that's when he rushes forward and kind of throws both swords. That one for sure, if you block that, it's -14. So if he goes into stance there, you can punish him pretty heavily. Similar with a few others. There's some trickier ones, like 6A is not a safe transition, but he has 6AA. So if you try to punish it, you don't know if he's going to go into stance or if he's going to do the follow-up. So there are some kind of tricky stuff there. Some other stuff worth noting, if he does, a lot of times you can actually step duck it. I think it's kind of funny. That's always like the magical solution to a lot of stances. But in particular, you can take away like the A and the BB option a lot if you step duck quickly. It's not something we don't see at play. I don't think we see it a lot in this matchup because it can be hard and depends on all these other factors. But if you have the opportunity to step duck, that is a good way to beat it. It's something to maybe get into the habit of. It forces him to commit to the mid options, at which point, you're stacking the odds at least a little bit in your favor.
Yeah, because you're already getting in their head and limiting their options, which means that's less you have to think about because you're forcing them into it's constricting their movement or their move list and available options a little bit more, so you can plan a little bit more accordingly. Like, okay, well, I've got him. He's probably going to commit to either this or this, as opposed to this.
Yeah, exactly, right. So you take off a few moves, and the thing that's maybe of note is, especially if he starts committing to Avenger A+B, which is the mid, that's -16 on block. So that's also very punishable. So you start opening things up a little bit. Like, I don't think you're going to, like, oh, you step duck, you win. Of course, it's not that easy, but that's also something to note, especially, I think, after he does Avenger K. The frames after Avenger K, even though it's plus on hit, are not very good just because of how far it pushes you back. So that's something you'll see, too. Like, God, I see online Grøhs just, like, mash Avenger K a bunch of times, hoping you're going to, like, disrespect it. Or I don't know. It's not that good. But, yeah, so that's a little bit on that stance. We're going to keep going into round 2 here. I'm just kind of looking at
round 2, game 2.
Yeah, game 2, round 2.
I don't disagree. That was smart. I don't know if that's funny.
Yeah, both of them go back and forth. They both missed some punishes there. But yeah, it happens. We're really just getting pokey here.
That was the same thing with the Avenger A, just results in a clash.
Yeah, you saw it. 6BB6, he did 2A, it clashed. And we saw it there too. He went right into the Avenger A+B and she didn't punish it. It's actually really tough. The block stun is very short. So if you're not ready for it, you'll miss your punish. And if you're not familiar too. But technically that's a CE punish if you really catch it. Hey, God, watching this match when I was studying it again, it feels like they're always in Soul Charge. I think just they don't really CE much, so they're just always electing to spend their meter on Soul Charge, and so we just see so much. Great block here. And that's crazy that I didn't break his guard, because I know that attack. AABB can break guard, so Vinson maybe gets a little lucky, or he just barely has the meter for it.
Yeah, must be on like the absolute last. Yeah, because there it goes. But that was a really bad guard break.
Yeah,
she gets absolutely nothing after it.
So what happened there was he did the same setup. Vinson did Steed Knight K into 2A, and Kayane knew he would do the 2A and read it, hard called it out with a jump move. But unfortunately her 8A is so slow, she doesn't actually get anything after. And in fact, she gets punished for it even after the guard break. That's how slow that move is. So that's pretty crazy. She made, I mean, that hurts. So you make the right read sometimes, and then, but
Yeah.
you make the right read, but maybe not the right action. And I think that's just of note. 2B's jump moves are really weird. Like, you think most characters, like, jump A is kind of slow, but horizontal, jump B is more damage, and then jump K is your fast one. Her jump A is that big whirly thing, and, like, her jump B, she throws a sword. It's like, I think her most normal jump attack is the K, which we saw gives all the analysis points, and it's also very slow. So, I mean, if you think about it, right? You read a 2A, a tiny, weak attack, and you get all this jug big damage. It's potentially really good, but in this case, it hurts.
Absolutely not.
It really hurt. Yeah, so. And so Vinson has all the momentum going into this next round.
Yeah, that was tragic. She read the 2A. Yeah, I would put that under review. But 2B's jump A is so slow.
Yeah, and we hear the commentators, Mind Blue, talking about it. Reversal edge works out, and he gets pretty good damage off the lethal hit here. She blocks the 1A, but he has the meter. He gets to really kind of. So there it is again. 2A plus B, he recovers crouch. So Vinson does a recover crouch cancel, and then does 1AK. If you're not blocking it, I mean, it's very unsafe. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but it's like -22, ultra unsafe. But
Wait, the 1AK or the
1AK.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's a big committal. Here, the RE doesn't work out. It gets broken, but she actually doesn't get too much punish for it. And then another big whiff punish. You notice how many rounds were closed out by like a big step and whiff punish. So, yeah, and he takes it. So you hear Kamai gets excited.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? Manta's here. Yeah, we're doing a little analysis of Vinson in Wednesday Night Fights last week. So.
Training.
Yeah, we'll hop on for games once we're done here.
Yeah, we're just gonna go through this.
Like also you guys too eventually.
Yes.
Try to make you as anti-ball as possible for everything I do.
No gimmicks, yeah.
And that forces me into neutral.
Okay.
Right? So,
Right on, man. Cool, cool.
Damn. Okay, they are bumping that music.
They're bumping like lo-fi Kingdom Hearts music in this.
That was Legend of Zelda.
Oh, it was, huh?
It's okay.
I heard like 5 notes while I was talking to Manta. I don't know what you
Oh
want me to
yeah,
do.
no, sorry. That immediately came on in my and there.
Now I hear it. Okay, see, they're giving me a chance. Yeah, okay, it's
yeah.
obviously Zelda. I take it
Okay,
back.
well, there's your background music for now. So
I wonder if you guys can hear that. I think in the past it doesn't show too well.
it like rings in the background, but it's not like overly distracting. Like we can talk over it totally fine. I think.
Yeah. All right, so that last game is pretty definitive. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit. I think I talked about it there, right? 2-2-KK. That's what she does the spin, and it does like a punchy break attack. She took the plus frames on that to go into a 4-4B setup, the big spear chuck, and it didn't work. He stepped and did a punish. The big guard crush in round 2, talked about that. And then round 3, he got so much mileage out of these 1AKs. It's definitely something that you kind of have to be ready for. Maybe you're not expecting it. If you haven't seen it, you're not expecting him to do an RCC there. You're like, oh, he recovered crouch, so he only has a ton of mids. I'm not going to block low.
Right.
And he RCCs, and it's hard to kind of see in the moment. But it's still a very competitive game. That first one in particular could have gone either way.
Yeah, I mean, she started off really, really strong. And, I mean, Vincent just kind of, seemed to just make a few adjustments, sort of realized where he could make a little bit more movements and kind of how to apply pressure a little bit better. And he, really turned the tide in his favor.
Yeah, and I think it shows that he's familiar with the matchup. That's something that Blue says at the stop. He said, "Oh, Vinson knows the game so well, knows a lot of matchups that people are unfamiliar with. 2B is maybe not the most popular character, but he actually used to play her, so he definitely knows it a little better. And in general, Vinson is just really well prepared. Like, it's not like this guy just is like showed up one day at Bane's house and is like, I'm gonna win because I feel like it. Like, he really works hard, and it shows here." And it's tricky, and this is something actually I've talked to him about, and I think it's true, is that you don't see actually Grøh that often. Even though he is this like silly online character, when it comes to like seriously playing the character, there's really not too many people. So I think it's quite often where people are not familiar with the Grøh matchup instead.
Yeah.
Maybe you know it on paper, or maybe you've played it in ranked, but fighting someone a little more savvy, it's not common. It's just not a big pick.
I mean, was that that first outing over at NCR, was that his first time coming to a top 8?
Yeah, that was his first big tournament.
Yeah, and I mean outside of that, other
Other than that, he went to Tournament of California in the building we're sitting in.
Well, I'm just thinking. I mean, like other Grøh players. I mean, one of the other big players like Icy Chains.
Icy Chains would be another big Grøh player.
But I don't. I mean, no offense to him. I don't know if he's made a top 8.
He does. He's good. But
well, I mean, like, has he recently? I haven't been keeping up with a lot of the tournament.
no, I mean, he's definitely really good. But he's one of the few.
But yeah, just kind of piggybacking. Grøh's not necessarily a character you see really that often.
In tournament. So, yeah, that was maybe another factor there. But we're gonna go ahead then and look at the next match, which was with Blue God.
Give me a number.
Yeah, sorry, and it starts at 1:57:42.
All right.
Yeah, how long were we in? 40 minutes. Yeah, so we don't want to drag on too long here. But let's see. This one on commentary was Conmai and Party Wolf. So you hear them a little bit. Party Wolf was visiting. Yeah, key in this matchup, I would say, we talk about shutting down Avenger stance. As well, Sword stance is really good at that. Not only because we'll look at it in a sec, but his AB can just blow up any unsafe. Not only can he blow up any unsafe Avenger stance, but it's not even like, oh, I punished it, I interrupted you, but AB leads into a knockdown, into a mix-up, or a force block. So it's just, Grøh really can't get away with Avenger stance in this mix-up, or in this matchup, if the Aswell player is ready for it. Obviously, there are situations where no matter what, like if you're knocked down, he's using Avenger stance for Oki, of course you're not going to AB, but I'd say that's pretty key. And this is just universal against Aswell, is that, of course, Grøh gets to kind of go in pretty hard against the spear stance, and even the axe stance. Axe stance can't really punish lows well,
right? And
the spear stance can't punish standing very well. So we'll see that a little bit, maybe where you see Vinson using unsafe moves a little more, 6-6A, things like that. But yeah, let's go pop to the game and do our key moves. I only have 4 for this one. If you want to switch us over to switch characters, we'll take a look at that.
You want to stay on Grøh or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn, they are straight bumping the house music. Y'all can hear that? I don't know. We're having a good time out here. Chilling hard. It's like super lo-fi sounding, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean they play some pretty cool.
Music. This is actually what I listen to when I play ranked and stuff, or like a tournament. I have to listen to music like this to cut out things. If I listen to like angry music like I normally do, it's like messes with my head. All right, so you want to switch to controller. So really big. If I had to pick just one move that dominated this matchup, it's this Grøh 1K. You don't see this too often. It's I-24, so it's very slow. It's -14. It's 0 on hit. If you look at this animation, you see this. You see how like Aswell like kind of. Oh, sorry. You see how he like. It doesn't look like it's 0 basically, because there's this whole animation where the person stumbles, but really Grøh's recovery is so long that it's 0.
Yeah,
but
so they cancel each other out, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. So it comes out to 0.
Yeah.
The weird thing here, this is so slow that sometimes in like a re-GI situation, it'll bait the GI. And the key thing that makes this move like better than say just the raw 1A is that it tech crouches like crazy. Like Scuffle is telling me this tech crouches on frame 6. Woo. So you will just duck right under stuff like this. And heat profile so low, you can probably duck under some pretty crazy low things. Yeah, so... Yeah. Anyway, we'll see it in the match. So the 1K is good. And then something we actually see here, like Blue God himself calls it a lag low. And we talked about it a bit, but this Avenger A, you see actually Vinson is I think smart enough or careful enough in his application of it that Blue Guy gets hit by it. Like Blue Guy plays this character, and obviously his reactions and defense are fantastic, but if you know when to use it and you're not so predictable and you're not like just doing it in the neutral from 2 miles away like like the online guys do, like you can get some mileage out of it. And of course it does a lot of damage. It's super unsafe, uncharged. It's -20. But it's like I-24, so it is a little hard to react to. And then he can charge it to make it safe, but it makes it much easier to react to when he's winding up there. but the charged version is -8. So, and then if you want to go into axe stance, just do like 6K for as well. The big one is 3A, which is that's 1A.
Those.
There you go. So 3A. Actually, I didn't even have to make you go into stance, but Empty Buck saying I need to learn Aswell and Amy. I have the most problem with them. Yeah, Aswell in particular, he will just run a train on you if you don't know. So 3A is actually. Can I just switch it real quick?
Yeah,
I'll take myself off and I'll just do a quick get the computer here. What is your? Is this A plus B?
Oh yeah.
So he gets this crazy 50-50. That is a rare 50-50 where after the on counter hit, after the 4A plus B, I'm just messing up inputs. Anyway, after counter hit 3A into 4A plus B, right there, you're back turned, and he can do either the Muscle Buster for a ton of damage, or he can do 3B if you duck, and you get a lethal hit. So
Yeah, which leads into the lethal, so it's big.
yeah, so that one is really tricky. So we'll see that come into factor because otherwise, here, I'll hand this back to you. 3A is I-20 and -8 on block, so it's safe. So he gets so much potential out of that off just a run counter. So that's one of the most dominant moves in his kit, and especially out of axe.
Oh, you're holding a button.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was
And
like,
then if you do
what?
AB, just do AB. Just raw AB. That's an I-10 move into a
Axe.
launch
Oh,
into
the
axe
launch.
stance.
That's
Yeah,
like
so
an
that's
axe.
crazy, right? That's just so good. So that's the move that'll blow up Avenger stance a lot. It is -20, so if he goes for it and is wrong, it's a big punish. But
Hey, tortilla guy. Yeah. Oh, no problem. If you got any questions, we'll try and answer them as we're going.
And Proxy saying, yeah, I get how he switches weapons. It's just don't know the moves. Yeah, it's definitely important to keep an eye out on the kind of the key moves for him. So I only picked axe stance moves, or I guess AB is sword into axe, but really those are some of his best ones, and we'll see them in this matchup. So yeah, so let's go ahead, and I think that's it from the key moves. So let's go right into the match. Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, third one up.
And
7.
game. No, it's. Oh yeah,
7.
Are we good? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So let's get into it. So, God, what a great image. Shout outs to my art. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, there's a whole bunch of nothing but memes in that image.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes in that one image. You're absolutely right.
Okay, so here we go. Winners semifinal, Blue God and Vincent.
Yeah. There's the 1K already. KGI from Vinson. He's going to get in here, get some plus frames, get
real
more
quick,
plus frames.
Just because I forget, I mean, I know Blue does it a lot, and then I don't know if Sandman also started doing it, but the check in sword with just the single A, like that's a really big, like a lot of Aswells use that tool because it's what, 10?
I-10. And
Yeah,
it's very
10.
big range.
Yeah, it has a lot of range, and so you see like a lot of Aswells can basically will check and like anything just using
Tap
that quick
A,
one.
A, A,
You just-
A. Yeah, I think that maybe Blue doesn't do it as much, but what they're looking for is they're waiting for you to try to mash so that they can AB you.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a pretty standard as well setup, especially like ranked. I'm gonna keep breaking
So
it
yeah,
up,
so
but it's a pretty like common, like basic thing. I don't think we see Blue God too much. I think he knows that Vincent won't fall for it as much.
Yeah.
And I know that, but
I don't know.
that's the thing. Sword A is just so good. Like it's I-10 and it goes so far, and then if it lands, it's a natural combo into a big launch, and maybe not like a full like launch, but they get knocked down, they're force blocked, or they're taking axe mix up. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No. That's worth noting. That's definitely worth noting. It's good to know. So there he does a 2A. There's another 6K. So he went into the weapon stance. You know, he has not only the different weapons, but he has stances for each of them. That one, I think the axe one is called the Tragedy of War. So he jumps forward and he has the axe and he gets it's like a little stance. And Vincent doesn't respect it at all. He just does 1K. It's like whatever you do, I'm gonna 1K it.
Because there's a lot of Aswell's transitions where I mean if he
doesn't have the
you know it
frame,
right, you
if he
just
doesn't
don't
have the-
respect it and you just hit him out of it.
Yeah, exactly. But they are some of like
I mean, you can't just do it to every single stance.
Yeah,
or whatever you want.
it's just kind
you
of
have to know what and where.
Yeah, but it's
there's-
good that you don't want to let him get away with it because it means he's switching weapons for free.
Yeah, it can hamper like any Gazwell's kind of gameplays if you can really show him like how his transitions move and how to sort of keep him out of it. It makes the Gazwell have to double think a little bit about what he's doing.
Like the strength of that one is it does tech crouch, so maybe if the Aswell really wants to do something out of like safely use it, you're using it to tech crouch instead of just in the neutral and hoping he doesn't hit you. But we'll see it a little bit back and forth.
Yep.
But I think that is key, right? That he's like just 1K. Like he's showing that there he gets hit by it. Of course, it has that low disco kicks out of it. And again here, actually, they're surprised he beats the RE. As Oki, he does the teleport version of the stance and just does another disco kick. And that's just something you wouldn't really expect. I think that's just a classic kind of, like, I think Blue is really good at making these decisions or keeping you off your toes, so to speak. I think that was a good one. They're like, oh, what's the Oki? And then Party Wolf is like, damn, that was the Oki? Like, what? But obviously it worked, right? Because you're not thinking like, oh, he's gonna disco kick in front of me.
Yeah, especially with Blue Guy, that's always a big question. So what's going on with the Oki?
Yeah, he's really, and especially for Aswell. Aswell just has phenomenal Oki in general. So there's another 1K. He even, again, he tries to challenge the spear version of the stance. It's called like Comedy of Errors. But then that backsteps, so the 1K was too far. But the second he saw the stance, he was 1King. Like, he's really committing to it in this matchup, which I think is interesting. And here he just makes a great read. He gets his plus frames off the Avenger B plus K. It's plus 8. Blue tries to reversal edge, and Vinson just makes the read A plus Bs, gets a big lethal hit. And he's just a big, big lead already in this. But they switch positioning, so it does get a little precarious. He has to soul charge.
Get out of my room.
Yeah, good call out on the 2A plus B. So when we talk about challenging the 2A plus B correctly, like that was a good example. Like, I know he's going to do 2A plus B after soul charge. I'm going to do Beyblade. I think maybe that's something that we didn't see from County in the last match, where he did so many 2A plus Bs and got away with it. So, but you can see that Blue is already like, no, none of that, right?
Yeah.
He just hard calls it out. And again here, now he's going to do more Beyblades, because that's what Aswell does in Soul Charge.
Oof.
But that is a cool, so he does While Rising B. He tried to AA, but the teleport just crushed it. So
that's exactly what Grøh wants to do in Soul Charge.
Yeah, he wants to crush your moves with crazy teleports. Teleports aren't even that good in neutral necessarily, but that kind of thing, like if you're disrespecting his teleports, he can whiff punish really well with them. And here it's more kind of just, yeah, again, going right under the AAs. We'll talk a little bit about that earlier exchange once the round closes, but again, A plus B. See, Vinson tried to get plus frames there, tried to do B plus K, a slow move, he gets AB'd.
Especially because he knows he's an X, so he can get away with a lot.
No, but see, there he was in sword. That's why he was able to AB. AB is only out of sword.
Oh, okay, that's where he finally got out.
Yeah, so a lot happens in that round.
Yeah.
I'll pause it real quick here. Let's see, I'm just going to kind of go through my notes here. Yeah, Party Wolf calls it out that Vinson gets a big whiff. I don't know if you saw it at the beginning of the round. He does 6 AA, and like Blue is on the other end of the screen. And Party Wolf calls it, oh, a huge whiff. But it just so happened that as he whiffed, and I don't know how this...
You want to run back to it?
No, it's fine. It's fine. But Blue was actually in the middle of a teleport stance, so he wasn't able to punish it because he was teleporting as he whiffed. So maybe he got lucky there, or just something with the timing. Yeah, I think it's noteworthy. We saw it there. He crushed the AA. We saw him just right underneath that. And then we again see that he tries to do 6A. So that's the transition we talked about. It's kind of a way to steal a turn, almost like steal a transition, because generally you're going to want to respect that 6A transition because he might do the follow up, but Blue chooses there to just AB it. Like, no, I'm just going to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe. Because maybe that's just Blue just testing to see what he's going to do afterwards, see if he can get away with it.
Exactly. He's choosing it, and then.
Because that's a Yomi thing. We were just talking about this like last night. Is that if you're at the start, you want to at the very beginning of the match, you want to kind of start seeing what you can't get away with and what they're going to reactions to it, so you can start
Absolutely,
figuring out some
that's
things
a
like
good
that.
point.
So he's I mean, he could one of them just get blown up by the follow up the 6
Yeah, he's seeing, is he going to finish the string, or is he going to try to transition? And that might be a little deeper if we talk about like Yomi and knowing the matchup. These guys play a lot. You'll notice even in that match with Kayane, I don't think I mentioned it when we watched it, but he does 6A into like B plus K a lot. So he like wants you to freeze up on the 6A, and then he's going to take every frame you're giving him, like, because B plus K is slow, but it's a break attack. So maybe a little bit of Blue just having fought Vincent's like, oh no, you're not going to run your 6As on me. Like, I'm going to challenge it. So yeah, a lot happened in that round, but I think also I want to note too, right? We see right now that both characters' guards are flashing, and Party Wolf noted it too, that Vincent played very safely. Like it's normally scary when you have low guard. You want to swing, 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 and never block, but Vincent plays it right. He blocks a lot of attacks at the end of the round here, but then he tries to 3B and break Blue's armor, and then he gets punished for it. And Party Wolf says, oh, I think you're a little too thirsty for the guard break there. So it is good. Like, he did show a lot of patience. It's actually worth noting that even though, like, the Beyblade and all this stuff is scary when Aswell's pressuring you in his Soul Charge, like, right, every Aswell in Soul Charge wants to use the Beyblade. It's this big mid, covers the whole screen.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't break your guard. So you can just stand there and block it a lot, especially you already read. So that's why I think Vincent showed a good patience there, but
especially you gotta be careful too, because that Beyblade can ring you out.
yeah.
So if you're close to the edge and you're worried about
you
your
better
guard
just
break,
block
you
it.
just guard, because it's not gonna break the guard. But if you get caught, it's just gonna throw you off the side.
Yeah, and he gets a combo off of it if he has the lethal hit loaded. So like,
yeah.
So Vincent played it well, but just that 3B, he kind of risked it there, risked trying to get a guard break. Yeah. So we'll go into the next. This is round 4. There's a regular Beyblade, which is unsafe.
Yeah.
And Vincent already has to Soul Charge because his guard is red. Big whiff punish here with the 1AK. It's counter hits. This is a bajillion damage.
Jeez, that's like a third.
Yeah.
Good guard break.
Calls out a good option against the GI.
Oof, doesn't step. Or can he step there?
He could have stepped, you're right. That's a good point.
Sometimes I have to remember that because I play Sophie.
Yeah. And he just gets him. There's an Avenger A just working. And it's something that Party Wolf notes too. It's like, it's actually not that bad that he broke Vincent's guard there because he didn't get a big combo.
Sorry, how negative is Beyblade?
How negative? Regular Beyblade is -12, but it's like +2 in Soul Charge.
Oh, okay.
And then the really tricky stuff, which we won't see here, but if you're like right at this perfect range where like you only get hit by a couple of hits but not the whole Beyblade, then it's like very minus. Then it's like -20 and you can launch him.
Oh, yeah.
But
I
that
saw
is
that
like, shout outs to Kinetic Clash. I think he posted that on Twitter. That's something really specific, but if it ever happens where you're not hit by the whole Beyblade, you can blow him up for it. But that's a really tricky thing.
I could I saw like Zeph react to that in like tournament or something like once. So I think
Yeah, some people can if you're really careful, you can maybe recreate that.
But yeah.
So
But that one's a really, really well because again, but the Beyblade's so huge, so it's getting
it's
spacing
hard.
on
Yeah,
it is
spacing
so
that correctly
difficult.
is really tricky. That's
Like,
we're talking ultra advanced, but
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
it's pretty loud. We got our headsets and everything.
yeah.
So great saying past that. Hey man, if you're coming through tomorrow, it's all good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're here in the chat.
Yeah, we'll party tomorrow. That'll be a good one.
So yeah, what else did I have in my notes here? Oh yeah, and that was something of note. Vincent kind of just takes the guard break, right? He has such a big life lead. He's okay with getting his guard broken. Party Wolf says it. Actually, it's not bad that his guard broke here.
Yeah, that's part. Yeah, getting in like big guard break meta is. I mean, if you're at the start of the round, you have the life to kind of chunk it. Like, might as well lose it then, as opposed to wait till when you're lower health, where you could lose the whole round if your guard breaks.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that all worked out, and so we go into this round 5. And actually, Aswell or Blue God actually is the one with the guard.
Yeah, so now we're on match point, but yeah, now Vinson has a little bit more.
Has a fresh guard, but he's getting chunked to start here. That was crazy. Did you see that?
Oh my god.
So what happened there? I had to rewatch this like 10 times to even figure out what happened. You even hear combat like, how do you get out of that? Blue does 9A on Oki. 9A is his jump axe, and it's a low, so it's very good on Oki, and he goes very far. And I think, again, these guys play each other. Vincent forward rolls. That's the only way to get out is the forward roll. He does it and even messes up the camera. Like, so Koma asks, how does he get out of
Alright,
it?
I want.
Yeah. We can go
So,
back.
3, 2.
Yeah. Go forward 1 click. Yeah.
So watch it.
All right. So
Alright,
Muscle
Muscle
Buster. So what's the Oki? The Oki is the jump.
Look at that.
Yeah, it happens so fast, but it's a really good forward roll.
It even puts him like on the side too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very scary. That Muscle Buster just out of range to proc the attack throw. And so Vinson takes it off that.
Was Blue? I think he was mashing a button.
So
Or did he
no,
just
what
not-
happens there actually is that he tried to whiff punish. He does a back step looking for a whiff punish.
Yeah.
And Vincent does 2A, so he tries to see whiff punish it, but he
that's not
doesn't do it in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was in Almighty, so I think the CE would have been just like a normal 16 frame, but he was just too slow. So yeah, pretty crazy. That's the game 1. Konmai's already surprised that Vincent even took a game off him, which is fair. Thank you. Yeah, so if you look at some of the stuff from the rounds, let's start at the top again. Yeah, with the disco kicks.
That's TOW is his axe,
Tragedy
right?
of War. That's the stance, the axe stance.
That's axe stance. Okay.
Yeah, the disco kicks. You'll see that a lot. They're pretty good. I don't know what to say. They're minus 14, so they're not that unsafe, and they cover step. And he's a character that doesn't have very many kicks. His kicks are only out of these silly stances, but this is a good kick. Yeah, so he does it a couple times there. Oh yeah, I didn't get to call this out as we saw it, but Vinson does a tricky little throw setup. He does wall rising 2A plus B to get the plus frames, does wall rising B, and then instead of a button, he just steps and throws. So that's something he does, I see sometimes, and Blue, I guess, knows it or reacts in time. Of course, a throw can always be broken, and Blue does it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, round 3, we talked about the comeback, nearly a comeback, rather, but then the guard break. He goes for the guard break with the 3B. Party Wolf said he was too thirsty.
I mean, it's hard not to be.
Yeah. Oh, something I didn't get to say as it happened, but Vincent, you'll see after Avenger B plus K, he does BB after. It's kind of like a force block. It's just a good. It doesn't. B plus K is plus 8, so if he does BB, I don't think you can step or do much else. So he does that a few times just to try to make sure you're respecting his plus frames after that. Again, we talk about kind of conditioning. And then, yeah, this exchange at the end of the game where Blue it's a very good tool, especially in certain characters where you just backstep and like think that they're going to do a fast button, especially in a scramble like that where you're probably committing to slow buttons that won't catch the backstep. But in this case, he was just late on the whiff punish.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, and of course, you block the CE. It's very unsafe, minus 20, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that game. So we'll go on to game 2. Keep it rocking here.
Oh, wrong one.
There we go.
Forgot my numbers.
No, it's not good. Yeah, they didn't get to cut to them, but Blue got thinking, because it's rare that he. I don't know if you can bump me here.
Hit it.
But that was a funny thing. I even said it earlier. Oh, well, it's not that effective if you just do Avenger A from the start of the round, but there it worked. Because he knew that Blue was going to maybe try to get a weapon out or something early, just goes for it. And it hits him.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see a lot of assholes do that just all the time. Where that's the first thing they do.
Yeah, they
is
try
turn
to
around.
pull out the
They
swords or
they
something.
want something.
Yeah,
Because
so
they're very, very.
he's not good if he doesn't have a weapon
not
out.
safe,
Yeah.
not
So
what
I
you
think
do.
you saw someone called like Jimbo Nader tech, where he plays 2B and he just shoots the laser beam at the start. So if you try to pull out a sword, you get shot. I think he did that against one of the Aswells at one of the tournaments. So in any case, that was just, I think it's pretty funny. Or not funny, but sometimes the wrong thing is the right thing. Like, it's just very good use of it.
SoulCalibur.
Yeah. And
That's just caliber.
yeah.
Oh, I just thought of a
So
really
there, see, he
bad
went for
meme.
1K after the break attack because he knew that Blue would just be standing. There's a single A you're talking about. There, he 1Ks into the disco kick. So again, he's not respecting the stances and just doing 1K. So many 1Ks. And here is that 50-50. Oh, but he goes for actually a ring out. He's hoping that Vinson would duck, but he didn't. Another good step.
Yeah.
That hurts. So if you
don't
saw
know why
what
that's not
happened there, you have to click over. Yeah, so he tried to whiff punish with 6-6B plus K, but he wasn't there in time. That happens a lot in this game. I think the enemies who are back turn, they recover so fast.
Yeah.
So like he's like, okay, I'm gonna whiff punish with this.
Nope.
That move is -14, so he gets punished for it. So
yeah.
that's tricky. Then I just want to put some other notes here. Yeah.
Sorry,
I
I'm
think that's-
grooving.
I know, we got some jams out here. That one, he blocked the 1K, so he's starting to wake up to it a little bit. Gets the lethal hit. This hurts.
But then leaves him back in spear.
Yeah, so Vincent tries to go in, but spear, he has that launcher.
Into the muscle buster.
Yeah.
It's not dead somehow.
See, he's just doing single A because he has such little health. The 2A takes it.
Yeah.
So. Good block and punish on the muscle buster. That's really key. You fight any Aswell, you really got to block some of those.
Yeah, it seems really scary, but I mean, if
sometimes
you
you
know you know
gotta-
the setup and you can block it, you can get almost anything out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the threat is that anytime you're ducking, thinking it's a muscle buster, you get lethal hit by the 3B.
Yeah, that's the big.
But if you gotta duck sometimes. So, yeah, and here he lands a 1AK again. Blue on commentary was like, "Oh no, Coyote didn't duck it," but sometimes depending on what's happening, if you're moving, it catches step because it is horizontal. He lands one. But a big whiff punish. Yeah, he commits to the 3BB, and that's super steppable.
Aswell quotes.
Yeah.
Break attack.
Lands,
break attack.
that one's tough. He lands the 1A, but his soul charge runs out. And now it's just like really low health. He's really trying to pressure Vinson. So yeah, he got thirsty thinking he would GI. I mean, it was a good time to. He committed to a second one, and Vincent just waited it out. That is a clever tactic, and I think that'll catch a lot of people. You GI, and then they try to whiff punish your GI. You just GI again. But Vincent was very patient there, so he took it. That's just a pretty crazy little sequence. Again, Avenger A. He's just doing it, yeah.
He gets the 3B lethal, or yeah.
Has a big low. That time he blocked the 1AK, gets punished for it. Maybe a little too predictable. All right. Oof. Yeah, and so Party Wolf saying, you got to control yourself after you land one Guild Seeker. That was kind of tricky. Like, so Blue blocks the first one.
Yep.
Then he blocks the Beyblade, and instead of doing AA, he tries doing the Guild Seeker, kind of tricky thing, like, oh, you think I'm going to AA? No, it's the low. But Blue reads it completely and does a jump attack.
In his head.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So Party Wolf kind of calls it out there. It's like, after you land one Guild Seeker, you want to do it again, because, like, you didn't block it, I'm going to keep doing it. But in this case, it didn't work out. Vincent, he went for it a few times. Yeah, calling him an anime player. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a, it is pretty good, but, and sometimes it might be good, right, if they know that you're ducking a lot. Like I showed earlier, he has a lot of good mids out of the stance, but we start over here for game 3. And that is a tricky, tricky clash setup. I think I talked to you a little bit about it.
Oh, that was the
That
clash
is the clash
setup. I
setup.
remember that.
Let's go back and watch it again.
Let's go back, like, what, 10 seconds?
Oh, actually, sorry, I didn't actually pull up my slides from the last game.
Oh.
Yeah, well, there wasn't much to say. It was actually very Blue God, but
Oh, is this the, no, this is the, no, we the next one.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Boot Bus.
That one.
Honestly, we won't spend a lot of time on this slide. I think it's pretty clear. We covered a lot of this already.
Yeah, I think we went over
Oh, but this
classic Axwell.
is yeah. He gets his classic Axwell going, and that's the threat of maybe Blue as a player, but especially Aswell as a character. He can really steamroll you.
Yeah.
So
you
we
don't know
saw a
what's coming
couple
up.
rounds like that. All right, so yeah, sorry, we were talking about this
7.
clash.
7.
Oh. We gotta go
Okay,
back.
so let's
a
go
bit.
back. So basically, we're talking about this weird clash setup that.
Yeah, that Blue does, and he does this pretty
Yeah.
consistently. So we'll watch it again, and I'll explain it.
I think again. Here, click on the screen.
Oh no!
Oh, Bobby.
That's like big money.
What's the invader? Oh, there it goes. The big one. The new.
Oh yeah, they were
Alright,
fighting.
no, that's too far. No, that's too far. Let me see. I can find it.
Yeah.
We were back. This is.
Oh man, the Twitch VOD viewer. It started at 157,
Yeah, we were.
42, so we were like 2. Oh yeah, no, go back.
Yeah, we should be at like. Oh,
You're getting
and
that.
yeah. Okay. So while we're waiting for that. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so let me go back.
Go back like 20 seconds.
Twitch player. Twitch, you need to fix your player. It doesn't work that great. I mean, it works kind of okay, but all right, I'm gonna start.
Yeah, that's
Here?
good. Just do it at the start of the round.
Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
So here's.
Yeah, good old Twitch ads, huh?
So what is it? So you're looking for? It's he goes. You'll see the clash.
And then
And
he
then-
converts. The clash is in Blue's favor, so you see Grøh get kind of thrown back. And then he converts it with the sword weapon art, which is the launcher. He throws 2 swords.
Right. That one.
There. So what he's doing there, this is a really cool setup. I think I see Blue do it the most. I think it's most usable by Blue, but the concept applies anywhere. Basically, he does AA. It hits. He's +4. And so he's banking that Vinson is going to try to challenge with his own attack, in this case an I-12. So I think you see Vinson tries the 2A, just to steal his turn back, even though he got hit. So he does a single B, which clashes with the 2A, but if you clash with a stronger move, so the B clashes with the 2, but that's why he wins the clash.
Right.
Sorry, this is a lot of words to explain this. But so the B and the 2A hit on the same frame, but the B wins, quote unquote. And if that happens, not many people know this, so you don't see this mechanic in play. The person on the losing end of the clash is -18.
Right.
And so you don't see
'cause
this
that's where-
often. A lot of times clashes happen, and it's some random thing. Like you're fighting and you're not in a position to capitalize on it. Or sometimes if you do like 2A and a 2A and they clash and both characters go and you're both minus. You just kind of
Yeah, it's what.
Take a
Okay, that
second.
happened. Let's reset. try
But
again.
in this case, because it's a specific setup, so Blue does that single B, and if it clashes, then he gets to do the launcher. Or if he has the meter, he
Here,
gets
he
to
goes
do
into
CE.
CE. Yeah, because I remember that was the main thing we were talking about.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it in the chat. Shout outs, Happy Toki, if you're here.
Yeah, she
Because she
pointed
was
that one out.
explaining it a little bit. And so that is a really good setup. I think anyone can do it, right? If you have any sort of +4 move and then you do a B, like Grøh can technically do it with his A and then he can do it with his A and then that's +2. +4, sorry, and then to do a 16-frame move, he can do 6B. So other characters can do it. I think with Aswell, it's the most dominant and the most noteworthy, just because AA is so big and he gets his AA is so good. We were talking about it, so he can set up things off his landing his AA more than other characters.
Right.
It's I-10. It's just something more usable, but technically any character can set up that clash.
Shouts out, Binfoburger. Thanks for showing up.
He wants to make some stuff. I don't know. We can
Yeah.
talk about it later if you wanna
Yeah.
chat with him, but.
All right. Yeah, we can worry about that.
Yeah, so that's what that clash setup was. You see Blue do it a lot. It's a pretty tricky thing. He caught Vinson attacking his plus frames for whatever reason, so
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
I mean, it's a really tricky situation, but
yeah,
as
and
you were saying,
it's a clever setup to
Anyway.
turn an AA into a launch.
All right, so he goes to clash. He launched it, and now he's punishing, taking.
Yeah, he's doing the combo.
doing this as well, doing the normal thing as well as do.
Again, jumps over 2A there.
Just kind of doing their poke war thing.
Oh, the storm. Get carried away. Oh no. I mean,
Again, that muscle buster.
Yeah, as it gets hit by the muscle buster. So that round. That's weird that it does that. So sorry, I'm gonna check my notes here. Here we are here. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. I think the main thing in that is that clash setup. I think that's plenty. Blue God is an amazing. Yeah. And Angel's saying that Blue God is really good. He really makes the character look especially good.
Especially broken.
Yeah.
Especially broken.
And it's just him, right? Like
He's the reason they made the document.
it feels like it sometimes. But there's a lot of good Aswell players out there.
Him and Sandman.
Yeah, and the rest of the gang. All right, so let's keep going.
There is the Avenger.
Yeah, he's getting away with it. Good use of the 6-6A. Maybe, yeah, I'll pause and talk about that. Damn, it really doesn't want this. I'm not going to click. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a good use of 6. If you haven't seen it, I think there's a lot of kind of, oh yeah, Nubicide and France is a good Aswell player. 6-6AA from Grøh is super evasive, so even if you're minus sometimes, he can use it, and it tech steps so much, you'll get out of the way. So in that case, he eats the force block 8A, or, sorry, 9B. Ooh, I was close. And then he just does 6-6AA and gets away. So that's something Icy Chains does really well, is using that attack. But Vinson, I think, threw it out there at a good time. And even Conmai is like, oh, is that Icy Chains?
That throw is so dope.
Yeah.
Oof,
Beats the
tries to
GI.
jab.
Hurts.
Almighty spin to win. Okay, out of juice. Okay.
That 1A just check. It's so fast. And the 1AK.
Yeah, so that one is Guild Seeker. They're like laughing about it. Almost, I want to, we can talk about it again later, but it's almost like a little bit of a timing mix-up. It's weird. He does 3B and then takes his turn again and it works, but after the 3B, it almost like resets the neutral.
Right.
And then you'll see actually that blue tries to step duck, or step guard, which is sometimes a good option if he's going to do another 3B, but it's my favorite Grøh podcast. But in this case, the Soul Charge 1AK worked, so.
Is this the only Grøh podcast?
It might be the only. I don't know. It's not even going to be a Grøh podcast, but it can be.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Grøh Aswell matchup?
Yeah, we'll see in this matchup. I think it's pretty. I want to say pretty even. I think Grøh handles Aswell pretty well. I know Aswell's worst matchups are characters that can really shut him down when he doesn't have a weapon or when he's like, say, in Spear and you're doing unsafe stuff. I don't know if Grøh can do that too well.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, unfortunately, is that like Grøh doesn't get a good punish on Muscle Buster and stuff like that. So it's not. It's a tough matchup for him,
like
but
like aggressive Taki.
yeah,
Yeah.
Taki definitely
Yeah.
is a good example of someone who
Talum.
Orochi thinks Taki can mess him up pretty bad. Yeah, I think Taki is a classic bad matchup for him.
Well, it's hard to say because there are no Takis.
Yeah, but I think on paper it's clear. And
Shouts out
unfortunately,
Dark, we miss you. R.I.P.
So unfortunately, Grøh can't really. He can't lock down as well as hard.
Yeah.
But as we see here, I think he can at least trade with him in the neutral pretty well, and that's also pretty helpful. But
Yeah.
it does suck, right? Like not getting much punish off Muscle Buster. He only gets his 8A plus B. It's aight, but other characters get huge damage. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next round.
Yeah, let's keep going.
So here's round 3. Oh, and
There's the
that counter hit.
50-50 we
Yeah.
talked about. He guessed wrong. He gets the Muscle Buster. Now you got to do some Oki. AB gets back into. Oh, going to launch him again. All right, you got to guess. Guess is wrong.
And
So that is a classic Aswell round. God. Classic. I don't know if there's much to say about that. That's just really, that's like textbook, like what you want to happen, right? He gets out of, he stays in Axe. For a second, he goes into Sword, just whiff punishes him with AB, gets back into Axe, and just blows him up on Oki. And all of that is started by the 3A. So I think that's a pretty just classic. Yeah, I just want to play it again while I keep talking. It's just a classic
Oh,
example.
yeah, that was
of,
that short of a match. It was only 15 seconds.
yeah, he just gets blown up. There, all right.
There.
Catches the step.
Muscle
Counter
buster.
hit. Muscle buster. What's the Oki?
Just goes in the swords.
All right, he beats him there. Gets a 2A. It doesn't matter. He tries to go into his Avenger gets blown up. AB.
Guess it's wrong twice in a row.
Yeah, and then guesses wrong. Gets the lethal hit.
Yeah.
And that's the difficulty. Like, there's stuff you can do if you want to pause it real quick. There's stuff you can do to deal with that's quote-unquote 50-50. I think very rarely in this game is there a real 50-50. But on Oki, it's really tough. And
Yeah.
so he guesses wrong there. And I think it's worth noting, like, a lot of times Blue has a lot of rounds like that. But that was one of the first ones that was, like, in the whole set so far. But
Yeah.
yeah, so now he's on match point. So we'll keep going.
Here we go.
1K.
Just close here.
He tried the clash setup there. Vincent didn't bite. He learned. But worth trying. You know, what do you...
Yeah, Vincent learns pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. You see him do AA into single B. Good 3BB. Oof. And this last sequence is just a rare Blue error. Vincent does 1B, which is his low. It has a follow-up that's a mid. And then in Soul Charge, he gets to go into his Steeda Knight Soul Charge teleports. So the full string you'll usually see is 1BB, so Steeda Knight K. And you can use 1B on Oki. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but at close range, you can't actually roll out of it. So that's why I think Vincent does it. But for whatever reason, Blue tries to back tech. And so in back teching, he gives Vincent the rest of the string. So that's why Party says, oh, that's like he really shouldn't have back-teched there. I don't know, maybe he was looking for something else. He might have been gambling that Vincent was only going to do 1B. So he's like, oh, I'm going to back-tech and get up and do something, but it really didn't work out there. Socrates saying, I just learned last night that Azul doesn't have any way to punish -12 when he's not in Sword. Blew my mind. It is very true. So when he's not in Sword, his punishment is kind of wonky. In Axe... His crouching punishment is not that good. I think you can do like full crouch 3A and 3B, which are pretty slow, like I-18. And then he can crouch, or he can punish I-14 with 6BA. So 6B, he throws the axe forward, and then A, he throws the sword and it spins. But he can't punish I-12. So you can party with I-12 moves. Grøh can do that pretty well. I think that's a key thing in this matchup. Grøh can use a lot of his unsafes. 3B becomes a normal poke. 6-6-A becomes safe. You get to party a little harder. Same thing, Spear. That's shocking. In Spear, his fastest standing punishment is I-18. What? And it's AB. So AB, with the added 8 frames because you're not in the right weapon stance, is his fastest standing punish in Spear. So that's pretty crazy. That means like you can get away with a lot. But it's Spear stance, so the crouching is very good. But his crouching I-12 in Spear is a launch.
And he technically has a whole bunch of the AGIs, but...
Yeah, but they're not that good.
Yeah.
The AGIs aren't really a factor. We were talking about strictly block punishment.
Yeah.
So you don't want to use your lows against that stance because literally the tiniest of boop lows gets launched. But yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind. And that's why... Hey, Konmai, what's up, man? I've seen this footage before. Yeah, I wonder who is the handsome, talented man who originally streamed this stuff, I wonder.
I thought you were going to say commentate. I was going to make a joke. I was like, oh, that's Party Wolf.
Both of them are some cuties. But yeah, so that's just something to know. And Angel Sep saying, what other characters do pretty well against Azul other than Taki and Talim? That's a good question. Who are other more like rush downy? Like I don't even want to say like Amy and Raph maybe can lock him down more. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of these more exotic matchups enough to say it.
It may be harder just because I mean again, Azul has a lot of range.
He can keep her out.
So
yeah, he can keep her out really well. That's true. You're right.
Same kind of deal. Sophie. I mean, Sophie can get in and she can do a whole bunch of weird stuff, but I mean,
she can't really lock him down. She can't keep him from getting away and getting a weapon.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's tough. And the thing is, even if we were to definitively make a list, there are going to be so many people that it's a very
We're not.
It's hard to say.
We don't get into tier lists here in NorCal. We don't start that.
So
We just make memes of them.
yeah, but it is a good point. It's almost the point, like some people treat Aswell like he's such a problem or have so much trouble in the matchup that maybe they want to learn Taki to beat him or something. I don't know. But in any case,
I mean, this is Calibur. It's just if you sit down to the research and you learn.
yeah,
about
I think it's
you
better
can
to
get
learn the counterplay with your main before switching.
Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, sure, it'll be. On some characters, it'll be a little bit more extra work than like some's, but I mean, you just kind of gotta dig down into it.
Yeah.
All
right, but let's
okay,
go ahead and
go.
keep going here.
This is it. Match point.
Yeah, this is the last round. And notice the big meter, the huge meter
Advantage for Blue God.
Yeah, exactly. 2 1Ks. He's just going for it.
Final.
He really is, because he has 2 bars. Brilliant
RE.
reversal edge. He knew he wouldn't Beyblade again, but doesn't get much out of it. Good duck and punish. Another Avenger, eh? All right, more Beyblades. Take another one.
Yeah, and his yard's low, but he's still blocking the Beyblades, and he's still charging.
Yeah, he knows. And
catches him out.
Takes it on the big whip punish. And Konmai is maybe a little bit excited that Vinson wins there.
We were all excited.
Yeah, I don't know if I blew up the chat much, but I know at home I was pretty hyped. So honestly, that last round is just the nature of the game, right? He got so many Beyblades and pushed Vinson so far to the edge, and all it took was one errant 6BB for him to whiff punish him and send him out.
I mean, we've been seeing that both in last match with versus Kailine and this match is that Vincent's just really good that when he's when that pressure's being put drilled into him,
finding the whiff
keeps
punish.
patient. And he takes his time, and then he waits for that whiff so he can take it because he knows it'll come. He knows if he just keeps calm, he's ready for it, he'll go for it, which is like so hard to do.
Yeah, right. Your guard is flashing. You're facing a really good opponent.
You're playing Aswell. You're playing Blue God.
You're getting pushed to the corner, but yeah, he really. Same thing actually. That RE was ballsy. Yeah, can I just say that? Like, he did 2 Beyblades. There's no reason he's not going to do a third, and he chose to RE. He's like, no, he's going to attack me here, and he REs and gets out of the Muscle Buster. So really crazy round there. Look at the big life lead. That was such a close game. Like, it really could have gone either way, but just in the clutch, just some of these minor decisions, things like the. If we want to pull up our PowerPoint here, I want to look at it myself. Yeah. We want to learn through the big things I noted out of the rounds. The Clash Confirm was pretty big, even though he only did it once. I think it pretty comfortably won him that round, getting that.
Yeah.
Round 2, we called a bit of a timing mix-up. It's a little tricky that he just threw out the 1 AK, even though he had last blocked, just kind of out of the neutral. Yeah, it was a steamroll in round 3.
Typical Aswell.
Round 4 was the tricky 1B string that I talked about a little bit. That
the
back tech didn't work out for him. Yeah, and looking back, I really think he was trying to hard call out. Because a lot of times, you'll see Grøh just do 1-1B. And the thing is, you're probably not going to – you're going to be afraid to punish it because you don't know if he's going to do the follow-up. And it is like +2 on hit. Or on Oki, you hit them on the ground. So it's really common for Grøh to just use it as a singular poke and just kind of – enjoy the fact that you can do a second hit and you're not going to punish it. It's kind of it's a little tricky. Of course, it's only guaranteed on counter hit, so you can't just constantly finish the string. It's not like Mina's 1KK.
Oh.
But so I think he just he took a big risk there. He's like, I'm going to back tech and I'm going to blow him up off this, and Vinson was looking to finish it.
I mean that's a big Calibur thing is sometimes you just got to go for that hard read, and if you get it right,
yeah, live and die by it, absolutely. And I think it's worth noting that in Soul Charge, this entire string comes safe, quote unquote, because if they don't step or anything and they're just blocking it, since you're able to transition it into the teleport K, it becomes -2 instead of -14.
Damn.
So it is pretty good. Also of note is if you actually get that whole string, 1BB SONK, it does more damage than 3BB, does more damage than Guilt Seeker, does more damage. It's like actually his most, because it's only guaranteed on counter hit. But it is off a low starter, so it's actually pretty tricky.
I mean, there's a lot of that where, yeah, counter hits are really, really important to do a lot of damage a lot of times.
Yeah, and it's to get a counter hit I-22 linear attack. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's I think worth noting. And then round 5, honestly, textbook. I think
You're getting just the patience.
Blue had him. But
I think that's the key takeaway from that round 5 is don't let, I mean, either the raw Beyblade or the Soul Charge Blade, don't let the pressure kind of like scare you into it. It's just
he made
stay patient, just wait for it.
Played really well in the clutch. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's worth mentioning that. Yeah, exactly. Kind of the mental damage, or the mental.
I think that's a lot of the.
situation.
I mean, the problem. I mean, is especially when at least when I'm playing against an as well as you're always just constantly worried, like, well, what's he gonna do? Because he gets a lot of damage. Off a lot of his
especially in
options.
Almighty and in Soul Charge. Absolutely, his Soul Charge is really oppressive because.
So I think
because he gets all his weapons. He can just do Muscle Buster like 4 times if he wants to in Soul Charge.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary. So
which we've seen happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Vincent just played it really well. It was a really good game. So
What's next?
this is actually, we're about ready to close this out. I just want to also shout out again, I don't know if you're still here, Konmai, but big shout out to him. He's a streamer down in SoCal. He's an awesome dude. He also is a filthy Aswell picker, but I love him all the same. And if you guys want to tune in, oh, hey, there he is. If you guys want to tune in to, tune in to Wednesday Night Fights OCs. That is every Wednesday night. They usually start around like 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Pacific time, of course.
Yeah.
So those are always really good matches if you guys want to tune in to check them out. Watch. Vinson and Blue aren't there every night, but they come around, and even when they're not, the matches are really good. Yeah, 9:30 to 10, Conway says. Okay, so maybe not quite 9.
Yeah.
They run late because their venue is also open later. Like I was telling them when we were at Wednesday Night Fights, when we still ran Calibur there, they're like, we couldn't even delay to like 8:15 or we'd get in trouble. But
yeah, even
but
though
our
we were literally
venue
the
shuts-
smallest bracket there.
and they still wanted us to start on time, so it's
They
just
would give
different.
us like one setup, but
Yeah, it's
that's a different story.
And then they just pack up earlier. They run later in SoCal, so they start later.
Yeah.
And a lot of their players can't make it until then. But yeah, so I would recommend you guys check them out. Pretty hype. I can't say that Kayane and Party Wolf and everyone is there every week, but it's always good whoever shows up.
No,
so.
I don't think Kaina's gonna fly over from France every week.
Just for that.
And Party Wolf's not gonna come out from Texas.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be cool to tune in. I know for me, especially, like, I'm really curious now. Konmai saying she should. It would be hype if she could come out to more events here. But yeah, I was just saying personally, like, I think it'll be interesting to keep an eye on Grøh in the future. It's just like immediate future, because after Blue, I don't know, are Blue and Link gonna like really play them a lot? It's funny they didn't say that he's good. Everyone makes jokes that he's like the best character in the game, whereas I think obviously they're joking, and I think on paper he still is like at least like a mid-ish type character. But they said that they like playing him, and that's a big factor, right? So like,
Yeah,
if they have fun playing the character, they're probably gonna pick them more, even in tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Link was, I think we were mentioning earlier, he commented a lot on that it's NLBC this week, which is the weekly over.
He played Grøh the whole tournament. And
whole tournament won as he usually does, and he sat down and talked about it because that was the big thing. He was, it's like, oh, there's gonna be a surprise tonight. He's playing Grøh the whole time.
Grøh.
And he talked about afterwards is, I mean, his other teammates is he doesn't like playing him. He still steadfastly thinks Siege is completely broken and is not fun to play and gets rewarded way too easily.
Yeah, he like plays Sig, but doesn't like it. So yeah,
I think he was talking about his Geralt. I think he just doesn't like Geralt like aesthetically.
No, he likes Geralt aesthetically because he's a Witcher fan. He said something like he doesn't like his frames or his, I don't know, something like that. No, I mean,
well, I could have sworn he was saying he doesn't like the way he looks, and I guess some of the way he plays a little bit. But
in Calibur. Yeah, I mean
either way, yeah, he wasn't happy sort of with just the characters.
He's
we
had
switched
such
off
good.
Of it.
It's worth noting that his Geralt has beaten Blue in tournament. He's like the only other person I've seen beat Blue in tournament other than the match we just looked at.
Yeah.
It was in a couple grand finals picking Geralt against as well. But I don't know if that was really, I think that's more just the.
I mean, we saw that at NCR.
No, he lost to Blue at NCR.
Well,
but he did pick Geralt.
That's when
he did pull out Geralt.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because they did NCR and they did the first.
Yeah, because he
like
says
80.
he says that that Siegfried doesn't deal with Aswell very well, which I think that's pretty fair, especially like so much of his stuff can get punished. and especially like Sword as well is just gonna blow him up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that'll be really interesting. I definitely think everyone should keep an eye on Vinson. I think he's so good, and I think it's a bummer that like, I guess because he hasn't gotten to travel a ton. Maybe not everyone has seen him, but yeah, that should be some cool stuff coming up. And then for us here in NorCal, so next week we are going to be back to a tournament. So that's June 28th. I think I'm going to be running that stream because Bigpapachunk's going to be out of town. So I'm going
to be out of country.
out of country, way out.
Yeah.
So I'll try holding it down. And yeah, so that'll be that for us coming up. And I think from here, actually, just like right now, we're going to stream some casuals. If you guys want to stick around and chat a little bit. I don't know if I feel like I like any questions. I feel like a professor. I don't know if you guys that maybe got to tune in or see some of the little tutorial part. If you guys have any questions, we're gonna keep working on refining the format. I think we're not only going to do match analysis, but that was just something I really wanted to talk about this week. We'll probably do maybe we'll do some more general like talking about basics like frame data, things like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
We can always play it, kind of tweak it, or maybe I'll do just like looking at Grøh frame data 1 week or something like that. We can do that. SoCalibur is asking friendlies who's there. It's actually just us two and Trash and Manta. It's a quiet night. I think everyone is gearing up for the house casuals tomorrow.
Yeah.
So not many people came, but it's good. It's kind of nice that we all get to play some. So yeah, I think we'll cut it over to the game, guys. Thank you so much, those of you who tuned in. We'll have the video up, and you guys can maybe watch this again on YouTube, maybe rewatch anything you wanted to cover again.
Yeah, as always.
I think it's kind of hard to learn some of the stuff, like just saying it and going over it. So hopefully that'll be
especially, I mean, we're also throwing a lot of like the moves and things.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened there.
Like,
so
I still don't know like half. I barely know my own character's name list.
Yeah, there's a lot.
My own input. So
yeah.
So I mean, you can rewatch this VOD, or I'll re-upload. I'll figure out how to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, we'll have to break it up.
I might have to break it up. Right, I can figure it out. Either way, I mean, this will be safe, so you can watch it.
Yeah.
And go over some things.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you have more suggestions on like more things maybe you'd like to see, you can always message and bug us. Or we have the NorCalibur Twitter, which is probably
if you
the
guys
easiest way to contact us.
At NorCalibur, just like in the logo, but it's at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys want to,
I'll link and we'll post that stuff too. So yeah, and you can give us some ideas. We'll probably be doing this every other week.
Yeah, so we'll alternate between doing a stream like this with casual nights, and then we'll run the tournament.
And then a regular tournament bracket.
Nights, so
as always, if you're interested in coming out, we're here every Friday.
That's true. Anyways, you might be tuning in from NorCal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
still looking for
it.
people.
So
Yeah.
we'll sign off for now. Maybe we'll go play some, and I don't know. I think the commentary will still be here. We have the whole setup, so I don't know if someone would like hop on and chat with you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we can bring it over here. I was like, maybe I can get Manta over here to kick my butt and explain how he's kicking my butt. That might be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're kind of excited to bring this new idea, new segment to you guys, and yeah, we'll see you around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put players up right now because we're gonna rotate.
Blah. Whatever. Well, in that case, I just won't worry about the overlay because I
Yeah.
can just. All right.
Have him explain how Voldo works so he can defeat. Yeah, we're gonna actually cut. I think Manta is playing Trashman right now, so it should be some Yoshi versus Voldo.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'll try and check back and chat every now and again, but it's probably
Yeah,
not too much
we won't be. We'll be kind of coming and going the rest of the night. We're here for 2 more hours. So.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, uwucos, for putting all that together. You did a lot of work to get this going, and I think it was very well done.
No, thank you. Hey.
Shouts out ESA Oakland. They're so nice to us here.
Yeah.
I love every single one of them. They're the best. They
For
give
sure.
they give me like half my equipment, so I don't have to bring a whole bunch. Well,
Yeah, they make.
I still bring a lot of stuff.
You do bring a lot, but they make it as easy as we can.
It's
so.
all like small. It fits in my little box, which is great.
Yeah.
Which I still need to get a cart for.
It's all good.
But that's later.